I'm blind, and these are essential travel tips while traveling blind. Okay.
Travel tips for blind people.
Yeah, yeah. And their significant others. Matthew is fully sighted.
Yes.
So we are in an interabled relationship. And so we will also be talking about things from your perspective. What is it like to travel with somebody who is blind?
Yeah.
And then I can provide the information about what it's like to travel blind because Matthew, I'm blind.
Oh! The guide dog is being left out. This is Paul's guide dog, Mr. Maple.
Mr. Maple.
Who loves to lick
my gosh.
any person who is willing to get licked. Thank you, Maple.
And just so you know, we will not be covering guide dog specific travel things on this particular
That's another video.
It's a whole
It
video.
requires a whole video dedicated to traveling with
Just to Mr.
a guide dog.
So today we'll be talking about things that are more general for the visually impaired, the blind, the low vision, the whole community of blindness.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows, he's really excited today. Maple!
Yeah, we love you too.
I have retinitis. I have retinitis pigmentosa. I've lost over 90% of my vision so far. RP is a degenerative gene mutation. It's an inherited disease.
Maple is my arm is in his mouth.
You guys,
and he doesn't bite down. He just likes to like gently.
Yeah.
He doesn't even come down at all. There's no even chewing.
He's
It's just like
tugging.
gently holding it. So cute.
By the way, he was not doing this before we pushed record. He knows. He knows when we're filming.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew, what's the first thing?
The first thing is ask for assistance.
Okay, ask for assistance, yes. Can you think of an example of one?
Yeah, for example, when I'm making a reservation, if there's a spot for assistance, information.
Oh, you mean like a box on the screen for extra accommodations?
I will put in,
Okay.
we're traveling with someone who will need visual assistance.
Okay.
Someone who is visually limited. And I do that just because I want the hotel or the restaurant or the people on the plane, what are they called? Flight attendants, to know ahead of time so they can be ready. They'll understand. They can be there to help.
Yes.
So I do that anytime I remember and I see that little box in the online form where you can enter that in. It's only going to help you. It's only going to make people more willing to help, more attentive, more understanding.
Unfortunately, for blind people like me, I don't see those boxes.
You don't even know there's a box there.
I have a tiny bit of usable vision, but filling out forms on the internet is an extremely difficult thing. Those boxes are well hidden.
Yeah.
So get a sighted person to fill that in for you. That you reminded me of a recent flight we took where the flight attendant saw a cane. Actually didn't know who it belonged to. I think maybe it had just been set down. And she said, I see a cane. Is one of you visually impaired? I said, yes, it's me. And she looked right at me and said, is there anything I could do, anything extra you need for help? And I even described to her what I could and couldn't see just because I didn't want her to think I was totally blind. Because I was looking right at her. And she was probably like,
faker.
I wanted to educate her, so I said it was like looking through a straw, and I said, I can look at one of your eyes. And then she proceeded to wink at me. The one eye! And I said, I saw that. And we had a good laugh.
If she'd winked with the other eye, you would not have seen it.
I wouldn't have seen it. But maybe, in retrospect, I was like, maybe she just closed both of her eyes. I don't know. Did she wink?
Just wink.
Okay.
Yeah.
But and then throughout the flight, she did come up to me and just say, is there anything I can do? Do you need help?
Yeah.
And she was very kind and considerate like that. And we've been seated separately on flights before, which totally puts me into a panic because I rely on Matthew to grab the drinks as they're handed to us, etc. So I've just said outright, like, I can't see if you could make it easier for me. And the flight attendants are always more than willing to help.
Yeah. So if you're the loved one of someone who is visually impaired, blind, and you're filling out their reservations for whatever it is, put that into the box. How do you ask for help?
You know, it's really interesting because I think this will come up in one of the other tips. Because I travel with a cane, or Mr. Maple.
Yep. Zip it,
okay,
lock it,
put it in your pocket.
Number 2, bring a white cane.
Oh, okay. Didn't see that coming. Where is my cane? I should grab my cane.
I'll go grab it. Okay, here's your cane.
Ta-da! Wow, just like magic. So I always travel with my cane, regardless of whether I have Mr. Maple with me and Matthew, who is always, when we travel together, Matthew is my sighted.
Someone is so needy
You
today.
are so jealous.
So needy.
He's like,
I
no.
too.
Put that cane
Got his
away.
little bone.
Oh my God, Maple. He is determined to make this video about him,
Yeah.
even though we don't discuss him. Whether or not I'm traveling with Maple or you, my sighted guides, you are both
Yep.
my guides. What would I do without my
Sighted
little guide family?
Guide dog.
I will.
Guide dog.
Matthew, where's my cane?
Oh, it's right here.
Oh my God, which way is up? Okay.
There we go. You got it right.
All right.
Yes.
Why are our videos always so chaotic?
It's because we have a dog. Okay, so keep going. You and I are just going to listen.
Yes,
right
so
here.
whether or not you are traveling with your guide dog or your sighted guide, I recommend always having a cane. And that is because obviously there are many instances in which you may want to make a short trip and the cane is going to be helpful and useful for that. I will often walk through the airport with it collapsed like this. See how small, neat, and tidy it gets? I'll hold that in one hand and I'll hold Matthew's arm. Sometimes if it's especially busy, the cane will come out anyway. Even though Matthew is doing an excellent job of guiding me, I will still take out the cane and sweep it. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's the term. I will sweep it back and forth to let everybody around us know that there is a visually impaired person. This is an interabled couple coming through.
People give us a little more space.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you see a couple coming towards you in a narrow,
And they're
crowded
just-
way, and they're arm in arm, you're like,
Why
no,
do
no,
you
no.
guys do
Single
it?
file. There's
Yeah.
not a room for you two lovebirds to do this.
Yes, I do get the
People
feeling-
don't realize we hate each other. The only reason he's holding on to me is to get through there.
for dear life.
For dear life. Holding on to me and having the cane out just alerts people. And
Yes.
they give us a little more room. So
I'll-
do travel with
Yeah.
a cane, even if you don't know it. You pull it out, you
Yes.
unclick it like that, which is my favorite part. The click, 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 click.
I love doing that. It's very dramatic. It's very dramatic when I
That
walk.
really helps. Helpful. They're alerted. You didn't have to tell them you're blind. All you had to do is pull out the cane. It might be a little embarrassing to do that in some
No.
circumstances.
Oh, I love doing it.
You love it.
It's fun.
Paul's weird, but if you are a little embarrassed, don't worry. People will instantly be more accommodating.
When I first started using my cane, I think there was a little bit of a stigma around it. It's saying to the world, hello, I have a disability. But I do think it's kind of fun now. I love the click, click, click motion of it. And I will say this, sometimes even if I'm getting up from my chair and walking 2 feet away to a counter with some napkins on it, let's say we're at a fast food restaurant or something while we're traveling,
Yeah.
I will use the cane, even though I don't
You
need
eat
it.
at fast food restaurants when you're traveling without me?
Starbucks. Starbucks is fast food.
Don't tell them.
And I'll go to a couple of feet
Yep.
and I'll use the cane, even though I don't
They'll
necessarily
use
need
the
it.
cane to pull the napkins out.
No, no, I will use the cane just so that in case I get to the countertop, I spill something, I knock something over, I can't find the napkins. I have the cane and everybody's like, oh, this person might need some extra help, or that'll explain, oh, that explains my clumsiness.
Explains why he's
It's a li-
trying
it's-
to
speaking
get
of
a napkin
embarrassing,
from the straw container.
it's less embarrassing if you have this, because
True.
that tells everybody what's going on.
Everybody knows.
Okay.
Tip number 3.
Yes.
Your phone is a valuable tool.
So valuable.
Let's start with the camera.
Yes, the camera. There are many forms of blindness out there, but for me in particular, and I know many other people in the low vision community have this in common, I've lost my peripheral vision and my low light vision. So actually, a camera, because it can magnify things, because it can actually, for some people like me, it can shrink the room down just to the size of a screen and it can be brightened up.
You mean like a camera phone or a phone camera?
Sorry. Here's my phone. And by the way, my phone has this bright red case so that it stands out a little better.
Yes.
It's another little indicator. This is another travel tip. I use the camera on my phone. I'll walk into, say, a restaurant or a museum. We recently visited like a little museum and it was dark inside. And I walked through like this, looking through my screen. It looked like I was just any other tourist. Actually, I think I was doing a vertical. Any other tourist filming a YouTube short. And but really I wasn't even recording. I was just looking through so that I could see the room and I could tell where the objects were and I could identify things more safely.
We just got back from a beautiful tropical vacation. If you haven't been following our YouTube shorts, go back, look at this last week, you'll see us.
I feel like this could be a little more accessible.
Don't move! And Paul used his phone, for example, in a restaurant we got to. It was dark. He sat down and after a while he was like, what does it look like in here? So he gets out his phone, he looks around.
Right.
It's so natural to do because people just pull out their phones all the time.
Yeah.
So use your camera phone.
Use your camera phone, but I want to add a little something else to that.
Add a little
Something I thought of.
Just a little something.
We tend to, sometimes when we're traveling, get so caught up taking photos and videos that we forget to be present. And somebody like me who is losing their vision and will not be able to appreciate photos in just a handful of years from now, don't forget to put the phone down sometimes and really just be present. You're traveling, you're experiencing the world through smells and feelings and sounds, and just, we will do things. Since the first road trip we took almost 8 years ago, we would do these things where we just paused and we were quiet together.
I'll close my eyes and we will just say, let's take a minute.
Right. A full minute.
A full minute, no talking, sit in silence, and then a fun game to do. At the end,
Yeah.
list how many sounds you heard. It's
Or
amazing.
feelings too.
Feelings, smells.
Smells. That's a good one.
What was it like?
And
It's
we'll
fun
list
for me
them. Yeah.
as a visual person
Yeah.
to close my eyes and get a sense of my environment from just sounds, smells, feelings, that warm air, the sea breeze.
All the non-visual things.
Yeah.
And then we will just list those things together and compare all the things we noticed. And it really locks in a moment too. If
Yeah.
you play that game, and it's really fun.
Something else on your phone to use
yes.
is that.
The flashlight?
Yes.
Yes. Are you flashing?
Very handy.
Is it flashing?
They just saw it.
Okay. Extremely handy for somebody who, like me, needs more light to identify things. Restaurants in particular. Matthew created an amazing trick very early in our relationship. So we use this whenever we eat out. So when you're traveling, you're pretty much always eating out. So this is really a helpful one. What was the trick, Matthew?
Balance the phone on a glass of water, turn on the flashlight, and it's going to illuminate your food.
Yeah. It's like your own
And it
little
helps
lamp.
Paul see a little better.
It's like your own little lamp.
Some restaurants have lamps.
They
You can
do.
even ask.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to ask or they don't have one, this will illuminate Paul's plate of slop beautifully so he can see.
I used to be really embarrassed about it. I was resistant. I was like, no, I don't want everyone in the restaurant to look over at me because I have this little spotlight on my food. But then it occurred to me that, like, even if they did look over at me, I wouldn't have noticed. I wouldn't know that they were looking over at me, and nobody has said anything. So I mean, I'm just gonna live in my blissful ignorance and enjoy my food. But I will say, pro tip: don't drink from that glass after you've done this.
Yeah.
Because that is a pretty dirty thing to set on the rim of a
phone
glass.
case. It's not been washed recently. Okay, regarding luggage.
Oh.
There's two things you can do regarding luggage.
Okay.
Put a tracker on your luggage. Now we do this
Yes.
just because if you use one of those little tiles or air tags, you can have your phone and you can have that little tracker
Yeah.
beep. That can help you locate it. Maybe you put it in your hotel room and house cleaning came in and they moved it and you're not sure where it is now.
Yeah.
So that's a great
That's excellent.
audio.
Yes.
Tip.
A little audio tip. It's just like the way that I locate my phone, because I'm always misplacing my phone. So I'm always.
You can do it first.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the trackers are great. They're not as loud as the phones, but they will help you find lost items. Backpacks, luggage, you can attach them to anything. Another thing with luggage, get very distinguishable luggage. Pick luggage, find a color that no one has. Big, bright, I don't know, neon pink, fluorescent orange. But that can help. Paul,
Yes.
with your limited side,
Yeah.
it would be easier for you
Oh, so much easier.
if we had better, we do not have good luggage.
Matthew, when I was getting picked up from the airport at Guide Dogs for the Blind and waiting for my luggage to come,
Yeah.
somebody was there to help me.
Yeah.
I didn't have you. I had to try to describe what my luggage looked like, and it was so basic. But it had this like little, very faint, I guess, pattern on it that I was also trying to describe. I was doing a terrible job. We were both so confused. I wished I could have just said a bright neon orange. You can't miss it.
Yellow
'Cause
polka dots.
This was definitely like a situation I don't want to be in again. And we've since actually attached, now I do travel with a bright green Guide Dogs for the Blind tag so that I could, if I ran into that situation again, I could tell the person it's the one.
Look
with
for the bright green tag. Yeah, that could help. Okay, last, mind map new spaces.
mind map.
Mind map, what's that mean?
It's a term that we use and I've come up with. I'm not even sure if it's a common term, but it is, I think, probably very relatable for people in the low vision and blind community because it's essentially getting familiar with the space without having to see it. I've really mind mapped our apartment very well. I know where every piece of furniture is.
You can move around eyes
Sightless,
closed.
eyes closed. I always get up at least once in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, okay? And getting from the bed to the bathroom, of course, I don't even open my eyes to do it. And that's very easy when you're at home. But imagine traveling.
Yeah.
That bathroom's in a brand new space. And so it's essential to first mind map your hotel room.
Yeah, so
Right.
we'll get to a new place, a new room. Well, we won't even unpack yet. Paul will be like, I need the mind map.
The whole place. Gotta
And he'll
lock it in.
Close his eyes and kind of like move around, hands out.
I think
You'll
first
even-
we'll do a run through where you put my hands on things. You show me where
Oh yeah, I'll
everything
bring
is.
you up and show you. I'll be like, right here's
Yep.
the light switch.
Oh, all
and
of
over
that.
here.
So it's wonderful to have your assistance.
And
I
then
suppose
you'll
if you're
pra-
traveling alone, you could ask somebody to do this for you, with you.
Yeah, and you'll practice a couple of times going from your side of the bed to the bathroom.
Yes, that's essential before the lights are out
Like,
at night.
where, okay, I followed it here, I turn this corner,
Yeah.
oh, but I'm gonna have to let go, cross to the opposite side of the hallway, pick it up here.
Always running
one
my
more
hands
corner,
along
one more
walls.
corner. Oops, too far, I'm outside.
Hands out in front of my... Actually, I want to call you out on something. So on our last trip,
Yeah.
where we just went,
Yeah.
I had mind mapped my journey perfectly. I did it flawlessly. I never ran into any walls.
Right?
And one evening when the lights were out, you got up to use the bathroom. I suddenly heard a bonk and you say, oh, I was trying to go out onto the balcony. Matthew was on the wrong side, completely wrong side of the hotel room, about to walk out onto the balcony.
Yeah, I was so discombobulated, I got up and tried to just like walk out.
Did you have some more appreciation for me after that experience?
No.
No.
No,
Of
not
course
at all.
Of course not.
So that leads us to
Right.
what not to do.
What not to do.
Yes.
Mistakes.
There are mistakes that we have made while traveling. These are things you don't want to do when traveling blind or when traveling with a blind partner.
Right. These are some pretty crucial travel mistakes. And we're going to talk about that, of course, on the extended episode.
Injuries.
Injuries.
I mean, it can lead to injuries.
Okay.
It has.
It has. It has.
Yes.
But we're-
Blood.
Blood. Matthew, let me say what I'm...
Gushers.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Why don't you go?
Say what you're going to
No,
say.
you say what you're going to say.
Say.
You tell them where we're going to talk about that.
Oh, we're going to talk about this on the extended episode.
Yes.
So here's what's not to do.
Okay. What's the first thing?
The first thing, if you want to watch our extended episode and learn what not to do, you can tap right here on YouTube, go watch it immediately, or you can go join our Patreon family right here at patreon.com/Matthew and Paul, where you'll get all of our bonus content and join our family over there. Okay, is there anything you would not do though?
Bungee jumping.
Why?
Well, that...
You'll feel that.
No.
Oh, you'll feel it.
Yeah.
You need eyes.
I'll feel it when I hit the rocks. Okay.